Chuck E. Cheese birthday party. In May 1977, the co-founder of video game company Atari opened up a restaurant, entertainment complex that would become a meeting place for giddy children for decades to come. That place, originally called Pizza Time Theater, was Nolan Bushnell's attempt to create a family-friendly video arcade at a time when they were associated with teenagers looking for trouble. In the beginning, the entertainment was provided by a group of robotic characters. Their leader was a huge cigar-smoking rat with buck teeth and a distinct Jersey accent. His name was Chuck E. Cheese. In the 1990s, the chain officially became known as Chuck E. Cheese. Today, the go-to location for children's birthday parties boasts over 500 locations worldwide. In 2014, the chain's parent company was purchased for $1.3 billion. However, all this success and birthday cake occasionally has to deal with forces beyond its control. In late 2019, one of those forces was the temper of Mark Mathurin. His ex-girlfriend Aliyah Thomas and her 2-year-old son were at Chuck E. Cheese for a children's birthday party. They were dropped off by Thomas's new boyfriend, David Brooks. Not invited to the party, Brooks waited in his car in the parking lot. 10 minutes later, Mathurin exited Chuck E. Cheese and went straight for Brooks's car. According to Brooks, Mathurin then fired a shot at Brooks. He put the gun to my head. The barrel touched me, said Brooks. Somehow, he escaped without injury. After the shot was fired, the joyous occasion turned to panic and chaos. Thomas was still safe inside with her son, though not insulated from the chaos. She said, people came running in and screaming. There was so much commotion. Brooks dialed 911, and the parking lot was soon filled with cops. Though Mathurin resisted arrest, police were able to subdue and put cuffs on him. Understandably shaken by the incident, Thomas wondered if there was anything Chuck E. Cheese could do to better protect families in the future. She said, I'm just left to wonder, what else can they do? A metal detector. More security. Did they even have a single person in charge of security? Dad pulls gun out when kids get no cake. Sometimes, you just plain miss out. Maybe it's your fault, or maybe it's someone else's. But missing out on stuff is a part of life. The way we respond to it goes a long way toward defining who we are and how we'll react the next time it happens. For 48-year-old Joseph Hayes, it wasn't so much what happened to him that triggered him so deeply, it was what his children were forced to endure in June 2011. They were attending another youngster's birthday party when the host ran out of ice cream and cake before Hayes' kids had any. As this was simply unacceptable, Hayes flew into a rage. He yelled, "Y'all didn't save my kids no damn ice cream and cake." Then he left the party. Too soon, though, he returned with a small black handgun stuffed in the back of his pants. According to police, he approached the party host and said, "I ain't scared to go to jail, just take care of my kids." That's when the host called the police. After his arrest, Hayes told the officers that he didn't actually bring a gun to the birthday party. Instead, he insisted, he had brought an object that looked like a gun. Either way, Hayes' bond was set at $30,000. Shoots self-doing gun tricks at daughter's birthday party. According to parents. The first question parents should ask themselves when hiring an entertainer for their youngster's birthday party is, what type of entertainer would suit my child best? For one father from Humble, Texas, whose daughter was turning 16, the question was a little different. What type of entertainment would he provide? Unfortunately for him, the answer was gunslinging. At some point during the festivities, the proud father pulled out his gun and began spinning it in his hand. Somehow, the gun went off and a bullet hit him in the stomach. He was rushed to the hospital with a single gunshot wound to his abdomen. No word on the type of gun or whether it was legally purchased. Racists crash 8-year-old's birthday party. On June 17, 2015, a man named Dylan Roof shot and killed 9 people attending a prayer meeting at the Emmanuel African Methodist Episcopal Church in Charleston, South Carolina. The roots of the church go all the way back to a group of free blacks and slaves in 1791. In April 1962, Martin Luther King Jr. gave a speech at the church. Needless to say, the country was devastated by this racist attack. Then, about a month later, a small group of racists in Douglasville, Georgia, thought it would be a great idea to crash a black girl's 8th birthday party. Apparently, Jose Ismael Torres and Kayla Ray Norton, both in their 20s, were among a group of 15 people driving around Paulding and Douglas counties in Georgia, west of Atlanta, with their vehicles all decked out with Confederate battle flags. Torres and the rest of the riders were members of a group called Respect the Flag. Judging by their subsequent actions, that is about all they respected. The group was threatening African Americans and yelling racial slurs as they drove from one area of Georgia to the next. At some point during their racist tour, they came upon an outdoor birthday party for an 8-year-old black girl. The person who prosecuted the group said, victims and witnesses from the party, who were predominantly African American, testified to observing the group of trucks whose passengers were hurling a litany of racial slurs at them as they passed by. Then things got even uglier when several in the group got out of their vehicles, approached the partygoers, and threatened to kill them all, including the 8-year-old black girl. At one point, Norton retrieved Torres's shotgun, loaded it, and handed it to him. At trial, Torres claimed that he had the shotgun for his own protection. Then he admitted that he had lied to police about the gun and sold it before he was arrested. Months after the incident, the group, Respect the Flag, was indicted as a street gang. At the sentencing hearing, Haisha Bryant, one of the partygoers, testified for the victims. She said, "I never thought this would be something I'd have to endure in 2017. As adults and parents, we have to instill in our children the values of right and wrong. That moment you had to choose to leave, you stayed." Torres was sentenced to serve 13 years in prison. Norton got 6. Clueless cops raid child's birthday party. In 2019, the police made a terrible mistake in Chicago. While executing a search warrant, officers from the Chicago Police Department burst in on a 4-year-old child's birthday party instead. According to Stephanie Burrs, the birthday boy's mom, police officers knocked down the door to her basement apartment, pointed guns at her family, and tore up the place. Shaken, Burrs said, "It's terrifying. Can you imagine a 4 or a 7-year-old sitting and playing games with other children, then come in and be confiscated by men with guns pointed at them? I can't imagine that." 5. Apparently, the police were looking for someone who had not lived in the building for a long while. The family promptly filed a federal lawsuit. Their attorney, Al Hofeld Jr., painted a shocking picture of the awful incident when he said, instead of having his family sing happy birthday to him, 4-year-old TJ had Chicago police officers curse and insult him and his family with F-words and cruel jokes. Chicago police released a statement saying that they make every effort to ensure the validity and accuracy of all information that is used to apply for and execute search warrants, but errors occur and it does take them seriously. Reverend Michael Flieger from a nearby church offered some advice to law enforcement. Treat the children in the houses that you are going into the same way that you treat your house or your children or want them treated. Officers were not wearing body cameras during the botched raid.